Simulation theory expert reveals aliens could be behind. Really? Really? This is the stuff I love, Jules. I love this stuff. Love this stuff. These people think that aliens are coming. Jules. They think we live in what? Like some sort of simulacrum? That I'm not me and you're not you?
Possible that we would be able to build something so immersive that it was like the Matrix.
You would love to think that, wouldn't you? If I ever went to India, God forbid, I would probably cope pretty hard, Jules. I'd probably say, this, please be a simulation.
We might be in some kind of a simulated or false reality. I started to research quantum physics.
Why don't you fix my phone?
Physics, different religions. Basically, we're inside something like a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Dr. Rizwan Virk is a
Unbelievable.
Silicon Valley
Where's Vagine when you need her? Is Vagine's boyfriend here?
entrepreneur.
Vagine, what do you have to say for yourself?
Video game pioneer.
And best
Video game pioneer makes a lazy shift between video games and reality. What if the world's a video game? Wow, how unique. Jules, where have I heard this before? Wait till the aliens find out who was made in God's image for real.
best-selling author
Changing our understanding
of how reality really works.
There's a lot of suffering in this world, the financial situation, relationship issues, physical health issues, emotional abuse. It can be a comforting thought to think that we can get over this particular challenge. And maybe even my player has had a hand in choosing this. And that writer's room is coming up with, okay, what do we need to throw at this character in order to get them to get to the storyline that we had planned out for the whole season?
When we're in the game, we're not aware that we're in the game.
Is that a dude or what?
In almost every tradition, there is this idea of forgetfulness that happens as you incarnate. It's a really interesting way to talk about this idea of multiple timelines. The Mandela effect, I used to just dismiss it as bad memory. When you run a simulation, you often run it more than once. And when you do, you change variables. Small changes can cause big changes down the road or lots of little changes.
Long story
Unbelievable.
short, this might be a video game.
The scientific community, they'll dismiss God, religion, NDEs aren't really real.
Unbelievable. We're at 30 of 50. 20 more, y'all. Help me out. 20 more. Get me to Nashville. I'm just your modest little gesture. Gesture. Just a small guy. Keep that in mind.
And yet, those of us who
What, do you don't want the small guys to win?
talk to people who've had NDEs know that there's something there.
If the simulation is processing constantly, then it wants to reveal itself.
It's almost a way to encourage the awakening process.
That brings into questions
That brings into question whether or not I'm going to fully do this or not.
who's behind the
Should I do it or not? Got that star on my necklace. What a surprise!
simulation.
What a bunch of gibberish.
Hi, I'm Maya Bialik,
And I'm Jonathan Cohen.
and welcome to our breakdown.
You would do it or not? Don't make me guess.
We're going to be talking today about something that I've been
Just tell me. I don't even know anymore. I can't tell anymore. I'm sorry.
nervous to talk about because I didn't know how it.
Abject Fool, $2. Simulation theory is just the main character syndrome. Oh my gosh. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. You didn't see me. Thank you. No. Thank you, buddy. Abby Zong, $10. Thank you. Will you ride a horse when you're in Nashville? No. I've ridden horses before. Generally not a good idea. I never trust who's running the horses, by the way.
Could apply to our actual lives, our decision making, our purpose. We're talking about simulation theory today, but we're talking about it in a very, very specific way that is incredibly global.
There could be something across every spiritual and religious tradition that is giving us signs and information that we need to know now.
And it all gets connected through
Who produces this? Blippy? Is this like a Blippy show?
through a very, very sophisticated and scientific and mystical analysis of simulation theory. There's no better person to do this with than Dr. Rizwan Virk, author of The Simulation Hypothesis. The second edition just came out. He's a graduate of MIT and Stanford, just got his PhD. He's an entrepreneur, a venture capitalist. He's lived in the world of Silicon Valley, video game pioneering, but he also has taken a deep dive into the mystical, cultural, and anthropological influences that have created the reality that we all live in. And the simulation hypothesis is a fascinating approach to understanding the messages that we might be getting about what is meant for us, including an entirely new way to approach challenges and really assess what is possible for you. We're especially excited to talk about this because the notion of entanglement.
You mean a simulated challenge that's not actually a challenge? You need to build a simulation to then counter the simulation? Like, what are we talking about here? It's just utter nonsense.
There was a Nobel Prize in Physics that was awarded in 2022 for entangled.
No, there wasn't. That was a simulation. That was a simulated award. That wasn't real, lady. Dude, lady. Whatever you are, that was not an award. Okay? That was a tesseract.
Photons and the notion of particles being linked, the simulation hypothesis kind of expands that out. And what Dr. Virk's going to do is he's going to pull in all of this information and research from...
Sorry, information is not real. It was just provided into the simulation for you to think it's information. And a theory about that information is also a simulation. Okay? I just thought I'd get that clear. I just wanted you to be clear, Carl. Jason Cassell, $10. It's atheist cope. Absolutely. They realize there's intelligent design behind reality, can't accept God, so they imagine a bunch of nerds like them that created reality. Yep, they want to be gods. I blame Rick Moranis. Remember when Rick Moranis was just randomly punched in the head and everyone was like, why did you punch him? That was me.
From so many different religious traditions, mystical traditions, transcendental experiences. We're going to talk about NDEs, and all of it relates to a...
How can you have an NDE if it's a simulation? A near-death simulation? What's death? A near simulation? A near-death experience? Experience would be a simulation. Near-death experience? Simulation. Near-death simulation. Death? Simulation. A near simulation.
Notion of a really kind of cosmic entanglement that can be approached from the lens of AI and really technological advances that we're all actively living and testing out. So is it a simulation? He's going to explain why it might be. We're very excited to have Dr. Rizwan Virk in the podcast studio, in the Breakdown studio. Welcome.
Break it down.
If I ever make anything like that, never super chat me again.
Thanks for having me here. Great to meet you in person.
We're...
Holy cow! That is a big super chat!
Jimbob, I am the one behind the simulation. I've set the roll chance to be born Indian now to 100%.
Thank you, Vagine.
You're one of the first to call you doctor, correct?
That's right. I just defended my PhD dissertation a few months ago, and I don't technically have the diploma yet, but in the U.S. you can call someone doctor.
That's right. The second you hand it in, that's right.
Yep.
So you were telling us that this book came about as part of kind of a shift in your health status. What was the clinical diagnosis that you were given?
I'm pretty sure it was simulated heart problem.
It was a borderline heart attack.
I just guessed it. And by heart attack, I mean a simulated heart attack, because the heart's not real.
Meaning they weren't sure, but basically I had to have heart surgery because of clogged arteries.
Huh.
Was that real or was that a simulation?
And so this obviously set me back significantly. And they said, oh, it'll just take, a couple months. You'll be back on your feet. Everything will be fine, like they often do. And it turns out that wasn't the case. 6 years later, I'd say I'm still recovering. But it caused a massive shift in my priorities in life. And it was during that time afterwards that I started to try to jump back into my Silicon Valley activities, which is what I'd been doing for the past decade before that, where I had a video game company, had sold it. Then I was an investor in different video game companies. I was actually at MIT teaching a startup program for...
No, you weren't. That was a simulation.
For video game companies at the MIT Game Lab, which is part of the Media Lab. And...
No, it's not.
At that point, I had this realization that I had a life plan that I had already laid out. And in fact, if you had asked me in high school, what was I going to do in my life? I'd say, well, I'm going to be a software entrepreneur, and then I'm going to become a writer when I get older. And at the time, I thought older was like 28, that's like old when you're in high school. But I was actually 48 when this happened. And I clearly got the message through a series of visions.
Unbelievable. Jason Cassell, $10. If it's a simulation, why have death? Yeah, what's death? What's death? Why have suffering? Christianity can explain both, but if someone created a simulation, why would you want death and suffering? Yeah, they'd have to say it's the same argument against God being a good God, but they argue for a God. So it's like a mind that makes a simulation where you smell things you don't like. And people die and people get cancer or whatever.
While I was recovering, and through a series of incidents that I was supposed to get busy with the second part of my life plan, which was to be a writer. And every time I tried to ignore that message, I call them clues that are coming into us in the simulation from the life we may have planned for ourselves.
God. Ever thought about God? If there were clues from some type of mind who wanted you to figure out things, why would you skip to a simulation? Why can't it just be real? You know what I mean? Why can't it be real? You know why it can't be real? Because if it's real, then you have no obligation, and there's nothing immoral. If it's not real, nothing's immoral. Any of his proclivities, they're fine. Anything he does in life is fine. There's no obligation if it's not real. It's just a clue. It's a game.
I would end up back in the hospital, and then I ended up having to get a stent, and then having to get another stent, and yet I had just enough energy during those 9 months.
A vision from what? Huffing cow poop? Ooh. What do you think about that, Vagine?
Take a Uber to Starbucks. I was in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the time. I was supposed to return to California, but I couldn't at the end of the summer because, I didn't want to be too far away from the doctors at that point because there were complications. But I had enough energy to go to Starbucks for a few hours a day and to write on my laptop. And that gave me energy. It actually made me happy. And that's how I knew, okay, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's not that I hadn't written anything before. I had written a couple of books over 9 years. I'd written 2 books over 9 years. But then...
No one cares.
And in this case, I finished 2 books in 9 months. So in a way, the book itself was a summary of the things that I had been exploring throughout my career, which started in technology.
Right.
As an entrepreneur. I was also quite interested in quantum physics. Right. But I also was living a bit of a double life where I used to go
Don't tell us. Please don't tell us. I used to go out. Don't tell me.
Out, like I'd be running a company during the day, and then I'd go out
And I'd be a prostitute at night.
and explore different aspects of consciousness.
Yeah, what does that mean? You do not want to know what that means. I'd be an entrepreneur during the day, and then in the dark night, into the dark crevices of San Francisco, I would explore different states of consciousness. Really?
In the evenings or on the weekends where I
Good framework, buddy. I really see what you're doing here.
throughout my career, which started in technology.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, I was also quite interested in quantum physics.
Right.
But I also was living a bit of a double life where I used to go out, like I'd be running a company during the day, and then I'd go out and explore different aspects of consciousness in the evenings or on the weekends, where I'd go to like the Monroe Institute, which does out-of-body experiences, or shamanic journeying, not necessarily with psychedelics, but with drums, lucid dreaming. So I'd be exploring all of these different things. But
what else did you do? Is that it?
They were separate from my day job, although there was a lot of intersection. And the first book I ever wrote was called Zen Entrepreneurship, which was a little bit about how that intersection happened. But it was really when I wrote this book that I was able to bring all of these threads together with the simulation hypothesis.
Yeah, and it's very clear, and we kind of want to get into every component of what you just
Yeah, flip your hair a little bit.
talked about. We want
That'll help.
to talk about sort of the gaming and game aspect of it. We do want to get into the quantum physics of it, and then obviously the spirituality, the mysticism, and all.
Now I kind of feel bad. I think that might be a woman. I kind of feel bad now. Lord forgive me.
all those things. But I wonder if you can just, you mentioned the word vision.
50 minutes, y'all. We got 16 left to go. Help old Jimbob here make his way to Nashville. Heading out to Nashville in November. Got to raise money. Flights. Me and MadeByJimbob are both going. So just think of it this way. You're giving your buddy old pal and his wife a nice treat that they deserve. I'm debating 2 people, no compensation for it, so I have to pay, I have to garnish my own funds, and so this is what it looks like. Fundraising. So send me to Nashville, y'all. Come on.
What was your experience of having a vision of kind of what your life was supposed to look like? Did it come in a dream state? Did it come in a meditative state? How would you distinguish a vision from, I don't know, imagine?
Nashville Nub Fund, thank you so much. That helps a bunch. Mumble, another 10. Thank you so much. What's a 10? Send your old buddy Jim Bobby pal out to Nashville. Question from a dunce. But being a simulation would imply it's simulating something. Yeah, this is one of my favorite counters, Mumble. What is it simulating, right? And is that a simulation? It's endless regressive simulations, essentially. Also, wouldn't it apply someone created? Yes. And then if someone created it, how would you know that that's not a simulated person creating the simulation? It's stupid. It's endless regress. It's stupid. This is another cope, like Jason Cassell said, to get away from the creation myth and create a different creation myth that leaves you completely disempowered, not real, irresponsible, and immoral. Doesn't matter. Then you can go and try things on the weekend, right? Just like this guy did. Abby Zong, $5. Thank you so much. A member for 11 months. Just smoke a bong, bang some drums, and you'll see ones and zeros eventually. Yeah. Beyond Seraphim, $20. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. Thanks for your hard work. Appreciate what you do. God bless. God bless you. Thank you so much. 38, y'all. 12 more. 11 more. Austin Tatilio. Oh, amore di aruna mani mie. Oh, Marie. In your arms I'm longing to be. Baby, tell me you love me. Kiss me once while the stars shine above me. Oh, Marie. Oh, sorry. Whoosh. Jason can sell $10. Watch. They won't ask him about the energy problem of the simulation theory. Of course not. Yeah. They never ask it. They never ask logistical problems. How do you fix it? Who's fixing it? When does it break? How do you know it broke? Wouldn't breaking be a simulation too? Oh, it's broken.
We gotta fix the simulation.
How do you know it's broken?
I don't know. Maybe it is.
Something.
Sure. Well, so, there's
Get out of my country.
dreams and then there's dreams.
Leave Colorado.
If you look at the history of dreams, it's probably a subject that's been written about more than any other in human history, just because everybody dreams pretty much, unless you have certain conditions. But for the most part, everybody dreams. And
every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Shoop-it-doopy. Don't you know his cloud contains pennies from heaven? Shoop-it-doopy.
it's really
Excuse
the
me.
yogis
I see one Italian name and I just lose it.
and the mystics who have
You'll
defined
find your fortune come. Naughty Germ, $5 for our buddy and his wife to have a treat. Thank you for the treat. A $5. Where there's a will, there's a way. We'll get there. Why are we letting people on drugs build our technology? For real. I mean, not just that. It's like the worldview itself, maybe even informed by some of these experiences, is just they're just gonna create it's like a real Tower of Babel, but it's spelled differently.
It's like we can get somewhere, guys. We're really getting somewhere.
Where? Well, where everyone's in their own universe, conjuring up whatever they want and being fed with a tube. Oh, we really got somewhere, huh? The dream for humanity. Tube world. Thank you, Abby Zong, adding to it, giving us 42. Maybe I'll break the minute. You guys never know. If I reach 50, I'll have to do a goal again. And maybe I'll break it. I got to 40. What was it, guys? 47? That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
different gradations
A pixel tower, yeah.
and types of dreams. So one of the things I talk about in the book is
That too, but the amount of energy it would take to run a simulation of our universe, it would require more energy. Yeah, it would require a whole other double-sized universe. That would mean, yeah, because anytime you look at a simulation, that's a really good point. Time we simulate something, it's this like controlled system, and the outside system has a lot more energy to put into it continuously. It's a bigger, you can actually access outside of the simulation. If the whole thing is the simulation, you need like how much more energy? Stupid. It's not just a violation of a basic thermodynamic law. Like, isn't that just a basic refutation?
because Tibet.
They're like, no, but really, no, there's enough. No, Jason, we can simulate more energy. Maybe that's what they would say. They'd be like, no, energy is simulated too. It's a simulation that simulations need energy. Jason, don't you know? Don't you have the simulation book of epistemology? Energy is just a simulated thing. We just believe that it requires energy to do things. Jason coming in hot like he does. The very generous ending of almost every goal is Jason coming in. Restoring unity and stability to Jortlandia.
Tibetan dream yoga, where you are trying to wake up inside a dream, what we would call lucid dreaming today, but the point is to recognize it. And then they also say you have ordinary karmic trace dreams, which are just dreams that, are regurgitating stuff you saw during the day. Maybe there was something on TV that you saw that shows up in your dreams.
Yeah. And then you get Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream.
But then there are clear dreams. And in different shamanic traditions, there's this idea of big visions or big dreams that you might have within the Native American traditions, for example. And so in my case, it happened, it wasn't a traditional near-death experience, because when I was out during the surgery, I can't say what happened because I don't remember.
No